Ichiro Suzuki's dazzling Major League career came to an end Thursday morning, but his farewell wasn't without intrigue. Taking the field at age 45, Suzuki went 0 for 4 but missed out on his 3,090th big league hit by one step as he was thrown out on an infield grounder. While that result wasn't quite what Ichiro and the massive Tokyo Dome crowd were hoping for, his chase for one last highlight does evoke some of the best career finishes in history. Here's a rundown of memorable hits collected by some of baseball's biggest names in their final turns at the plate. Ted Williams, Sept. 28, 1960. This is the most famous send-off in baseball history, and perhaps any of the major North American sports. Though the crowd at Fenway Park on this rainy afternoon was only 10,000 or so, thousands more Bostonians would claim in the years to come that they were there to see Teddy ballgame homer in his final at-bat. Williams, perhaps the greatest hitter who ever lived, drove a 1-2-1 pitch from Orioles pitcher Jack Fisher deep to the canopy behind Fenway's famous center field triangle, eliciting unanimous cheers from a Boston crowd that had gone through its ups and downs with the slugger in the years before. There was even a 4-minute delay as fans begged Williams to come out for a curtain call, but he remained in the dugout. Williams then trotted out to left field for the next half inning before manager Mike Higgins summoned him back in for a defensive replacement, giving fans one more chance to cheer for the Red Sox hero. Derek Jeter, Sept. 25 and 28, 2014. The captain actually conjured two memorable final at-bat hits, displaying his innate clutch ability right until the very end. The first moment may as well have been ripped from a Hollywood script. The Yankees led the Orioles 5-2 in their home finale and Jeter trotted out to shortstop in the top of the ninth for what he assumed would be the final time. But Baltimore tied the game on Steve Pearce's two-out homer, and the Yankees went to the bottom half with Jeter due up third. Jose Pereira singled and Brett Gardner bunted him to second, setting up Jeter for a dramatic walk-off single that sent reverberations throughout the Bronx. It was the perfect ending for one of the most famous careers in recent history, but the Yankees still had one final series in Boston. Jeter suited up for the final two games and went a combined 2 for 4, ending his career with an infield single and a sizable applause from the rival Fenway crowd. Roberto Clemente, September 30, 1972. Clemente, one of baseball's greatest natural athletes, seemed destined for great things throughout his career. It was fitting, in a way, that he collected his 3,000th and final career hit in his final regular season at-bat. Only 10 players had previously reached 3,000 before Clemente dug in against Mets starter Jon Matlack at Pittsburgh's Three Rivers Stadium, and he had a chance to become the first Latin American player to join the club. Clemente laced a double off Matlack in the bottom of the fourth and came around to score the first run of the game. None other than Willie Mays ran over to the Pirates' dugout to congratulate Clemente during the next inning, and the Pittsburgh legend took the rest of the week off to rest for the postseason. Clemente went 4 for 17 in the Bucs' National League Championship Series loss to the Reds, and he tragically passed away on New Year's Eve while flying to Nicaragua to deliver goods to earthquake victims. Mauer, September 30, 2018. Mauer's final career at-bat couldn't have been any more fitting. If you had to pick one emblematic image to represent one of the best hitting catchers ever, it would probably be of Mauer roping an opposite field line drive. And that's exactly how he capped his 15 years with the Twins, by lining a double into the left center field gap in front of 30,144 fans who'd come to Target Field to give him a deserving farewell. The most memorable moment of Mauer's finale wasn't even hit number 2,123, though. It was Mauer gearing up behind the plate for the first time since 2013 to catch one final pitch in the ninth inning, after his concussion issues had forced him to give up catching. Stan Musial, Sept. 29, 1963. Legendary broadcaster Harry Caray was behind the microphone when Stan the Man smacked his final hit, an RBI single that drove in teammate Curt Flood, against the Reds at Busch Stadium. Cardinals manager Johnny Keane brought in Gary Kolb to pinch run for Musial, capping off a day in which the team retired Musial's no. 6 Musial's final hit added a poetic bit of symmetry, 1,815 hits at home and 1,815 on the road. George Brett, October 3, 1993 Royals fans knew the 40-year-old franchise legend would be retiring at the end of the 1993 season, and he got a fitting farewell at Kauffman Stadium just before the Royals hit the road for their last series against the Rangers. In the regular season finale, Brett came up in the top of the ninth in front of a cheering crowd of 41,039 in Arlington. The Hall of Famer, who played all 21 years of his career for Kansas City, brought the fans to their feet with a single up the middle, his 3,154th hit. The announcers call base hit. George Brett singles in his last at-bat. Wow, way to go, George. Gary Carter, Sept. 27, 1992 Carter, like Williams, was affectionately nicknamed the Kid, and his boyish exuberance and passion for the game endeared him to both Expos and Mets fans during his Hall of Fame career. At age 38, Carter returned to Montreal for one final season and tearfully announced his retirement 2 days before his final game at Olympic Stadium. Carter came up to bat one final time in the 7th inning of a tight pitcher's duel against the Cubs and, on a 0-2 count, lined a double to right field over the head of his former teammate Andre Dawson. The hit drove in Larry Walker with what would prove to be the game-winning run, and Carter had one last signature moment in front of the Montreal faithful. Reggie Jackson, October 4, 1987 Reggie had returned to the A's at age 41 for the final season of his Hall of Fame career, and he finished it on a high note. His last game was on the road at Chicago's Comiskey Park, with the A's wrapping up the 1987 season, but there were plenty of A's fans among the crowd of 15,083 to see Jackson play for the last time. The ovation was long and loud as Jackson stepped in for his last at-bat, and he tipped his helmet to the crowd as Reggie chants broke out. Jackson knocked a clean single into center field, and saluted the fans one more time from first base as they gave him another ovation. Chipper Jones, October 5, 2012 When Chipper came to bat with 2 outs and the Braves trailing by 3 in the bottom of the 9th inning of the 2012 NL wildcard game, the fans at Turner Field knew it might well be the franchise icon's final at-bat. Before he stepped in, the 40-year-old future Hall of Famer doffed his helmet to the crowd, as the 52,631 in attendance gave him a long ovation. Jones kept the Braves' hopes alive for one more batter with an infield single up the middle. Albert Bell, October 1, 2000 The fearsome slugger was forced into early retirement at age 34 because of hip injuries. But his last at-bat was a big one. Bell crushed the homer to left field in the 8th inning of the Orioles' regular season finale against the Yankees at Camden Yards, with 47,831 fans in attendance in Baltimore. It was the 381st home run of Bell's 12-year career. Mike Piazza, Sept. 30, 2007 Piazza wasn't a Met anymore when he wrapped up his Hall of Fame career at age 39. He was with the A's, but the 28,062 fans in attendance in Oakland for his finale showed plenty of appreciation. Piazza's last at-bat came leading off the bottom of the 9th inning of a tight game against the Angels, and he ripped a line drive single to right. The A's pinch ran for Piazza, prompting a nice ovation from the Coliseum crowd. Piazza's hit was the start of a game-winning rally, as pinch runner Shannon Stewart scored on a Ichiro Suzuki single to give the A's the walk-off. Hank Aaron, October 3, 1976 Baseball's home run king for many years ended his incredible career with a single, and it was only right that it drove in a run for his club. The 42-year-old eked out a 2-out, infield single off Detroit's Dave Roberts in the 6th inning to get the Brewers on the board, notching his 2,297th and final RBI. Brewers manager Alex Grammas then substituted Aaron for a pinch runner, and the slugger joined the Braves as an executive at season's end. Omar Vizquel, October 3, 2012 Vizquel was even older than Ichiro when he played his final major league game for the Blue Jays at the end of the 2012 regular season, 45 years, 162 days. Even though Vizquel was only a Blue Jay for that one season, the 24th of his big league career, the crowd was on its feet and cheering as he took his last at-bat of the game. Vizquel lined a clean single to center field for his 2,877th and last career hit. Julio Franco, Sept. 17, 2007. Franco, incredibly, was 49 years old when he took his final major league at-bat. That came as a pinch hitter for the Braves in a mid-September game against the Marlins at Turner Field. Franco fired a line drive RBI single to right field, making him one of just 6 players in MLB history to record a hit at age 49 or older. Lee Cochran, May 25, 1937. Unlike many of the other names on this list, few recognized when Cochran homered off Yankees pitcher Bump Hadley that it was his last major league at-bat. Cochran was just 34, regarded as the game's best catcher, and was set to log his 9th season with an average above .300. His career came to an abrupt end, however, 2 innings after his home run when Hadley's pitch hit him in the head and fractured his skull in 3 places. Cochran would make one exhibition appearance the following year, but would never appear in another regular season game. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1947.